Okay, you ready?
Looking up the sleeve of confidence, I jumped down from the fence. Been a long time since I felt this way. Let the feeling stay. Reaching for the arms of love, living, dreaming, thinking of the moment I slip on the glove. My fear is gone. The grain of hope has grown. And I'll be running, laughing, playing in the sweet green fields of belonging to someone.
That was Seals and Crofts. Sweet Green Fields. Did you catch it?
By Busta Rhymes. Yeah, it was Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See.
What gave it away?
The song,
Oh,
the drums.
it wasn't
For,
what you saw.
I saw you trying to reenact the Busta Rhymes video for sure, but I I knew the second I heard that. So who's that by? Who's the creator of that
Seals
song?
and Crofts.
Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't
we
know
owe
what
them
you
some money
said.
now.
If it was the song name or the people.
To be honest, I don't know. But
Okay.
my cousin sent me that. He said he found the record for $1 in some crate, and he put it on, and that's what it was.
Got it. Okay. Digging in the crates.
Yeah.
What? So what? You've been listening to a lot of new music, or what's
No, not
going
really.
on?
No.
No.
I kind of listened to the same song for a while. I told you that before, I think. Like sometimes I'll get stuck on a song and listen to it a billion times. So I kind of made a
Gangnam
list.
Style.
No, that's not on it. But
No.
I made a list of song, like a playlist of songs that are on that list of songs that have gotten stuck in my head for a long time. So now I'm listening to that, like a bigger list of songs. I'm just super interested in songs, I guess.
Music.
I mean, music, yeah, but songs, why they make sense or why they're good, why, how they get,
It's
to be
called
what they are.
Money.
Yeah, see, but I think Drake is perfect example of how money can't make your songs better than.
Hey, people play it. People are on the radio.
Yeah.
Got that money behind them. That's what it is.
Did you get that video that I sent you about him getting booed off stage? I know it was a while ago, but
Yeah, I did get that video.
yeah.
Hey, comedians get booed all the time.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of not the larger ones, I guess, or the more popular ones, but
yeah, you get into that realm of being a comedian where it's like you're not getting the genuine
response.
laughter. Yeah.
I think Dave Chappelle gets that sometimes.
Yeah, I think
because he'll
all the
say
top
some
comedians.
wild shit, and then everybody is like, ha ha ha
Yeah.
ha.
Yeah, I think all the comedians that are top, like that people paid to go see, they're like laughing. They're laughing just because it's the name, and they think it's supposed to
Yeah,
be funny.
I saw Gabriel Iglesias one time. Yeah, it was.
It wasn't good.
I had a hard time watching it. It was just
Oh
like,
wow,
I mean,
really?
it was like everybody was just waiting for him to say Fluffy, and it
Yeah,
was like he was just dangling it. Pause. And then
yeah,
once he
hard.
said Fluffy, then it was explosion.
Yeah, he has good. I'm surprised because everything I've seen from him, he's pretty funny,
I don't know. I was
and
pretty
he's
drunk, I
got
think,
good.
also.
You were
Should
drunk.
I should have probably led with that, yeah.
Mm,
And it was the ticket I got, it was somebody, I don't know, somebody backed out or something. So I was like a secondhand invite. And
okay,
there's probably a lot more going on with me at the time, maybe.
got it, got it. Um, yeah, nah,
Wait, but hold on. I actually have been listening to some new music. Uh, the Nas album.
okay,
That's I had that on repeat for probably 2 or 3 days. I was listening to that.
okay.
Who's Hit Boy? Is Hit Boy he's a
Hip was a guy,
producer?
a producer from Cali, and he's done a lot of like top notch artists' music in the
Yeah.
past like 5 years,
I liked it.
and maybe like 5-10 years, and so he's like the go-to guy right now. He's got the hot hand, and with Nas, what he's done 2-3 albums with him.
I don't know, but he said something about being the new Black Star, and that sounds like they've done more than one album together.
Yeah, they definitely did two. I'm trying to think if it's been a third one because they got King's Disease and then what King's Disease 2 something. I
I
forget
don't know.
what it
I
is,
don't know the names.
but yeah, he is. It's pretty good. Like he got his first Grammy with him.
Who
I
Nas did?
think. Yeah,
Damn.
with Hit Boy. Yeah.
But it's crazy though is that I don't think anything on there is gonna be a hit. Like probably won't be a hit, right?
Yeah, so Hit Boy didn't give him any hits. Pause. Yeah, it's kind of it's
I don't think the young go-hards are trying to listen to that.
the what?
The young go-hards.
What the hell is that?
It's somebody younger than me, I guess.
Go Hards?
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
I think that's what old people say.
Okay, young Go Hards.
Yeah. Like the people who are listening to trap and like, you know, Lil Somebody or Young Somebody
Mm-hmm.
aren't trying to hear Nas like talk about how he's better than all of them.
I don't believe that.
You don't think so?
No. There's been Lils and Youngs for a while now.
Yeah. But I know
Like
this is like
someone
the
interest.
this is like the 4th century of it, or like the
He's a 4th century.
4th century AD of the
You talking
little-
about the current like Lil Babies and
yeah,
Lil Durks?
sure, yeah.
Because I think those people, those fans of Lil Durk, Lil Baby, there's some people that are still listening to that.
How many people can you name that are a little some or a young some?
Oh my gosh, we'll be here all day.
See, that's it's too much. It's not original, and the music,
No, I agree.
I don't.
When I have my firstborn, they're gonna be called Little Baby.
Little Drake.
Little Baby. Nah, Yeah, you're right. I think there is a lot of Lils. It's too many. Um, but hey, that's what it is. I don't care about the name really. Who cares about the name? What's
You
in a
kind of
name?
care a
No, I'm
little
just
bit,
playing.
right? I guess not. It's not you. The artist becomes, or the name becomes the artist. I guess you know.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, Biggie Smalls. You might have said that was stupid.
the Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah, and it's like but it shapes itself around the artist, whatever the artist becomes, which I get.
Yeah,
But you're not leaving much room for creativity if the first word of your name is the same as 20% of the rest of
well, I think
you know
Young. I think Young was tougher, right? Because you're not always gonna be Young. You may be Lil, maybe short, um, but you may not always be Young.
yeah.
Like Young Jeezy had to just basically become Jeezy because
Yeah,
he's not gonna
basically you
be
had to
Young
shed
for.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I remember Jay-Z for like a time he was calling himself Young and Young Hova,
Yeah,
and so
that time has passed.
exactly you don't hear him calling himself that anymore.
Yeah.
He's like middle-aged Hova,
And these
get me a
the new
Range
guys,
Rover.
they haven't learned from it is what I'm saying, like the first generation learned as they got older. You can't be a young, you can't, it just doesn't age that well.
Well, Lil is different.
Yeah, it is different, but if you are if you're a little Bow Wow and then you grow up to be
He's just
6'2",
Bow Wow.
you know,
Well, now he's Bow Wow, and then I recently saw that he was just trying to call himself by his real name.
he's like, please stop calling me Bow Wow.
Please stop. Why are you guys all calling me this? And then Wayne, he's Wheezy. Like a lot of people call him Wheezy, and
Yeah,
Wayne just Wayne.
yeah.
I'm trying to think other Lils.
I mean, like you said, little baby, right? So eventually he'll just be baby.
Probably be Baby, yeah. But the problem with that is there's also Da Baby. So that's
Yeah.
gonna be like
Damn.
a
Well, I mean,
a
duh
little
baby will always
baby.
be duh baby.
Yeah, that's true. He could stay with Da Baby, but yeah, it's gonna be
Maybe he's
tough.
in the advanced stage of the lil baby.
The interesting part is they collaborate with each other.
Damn. Do they
Yeah,
sound different at least? I'm probably not, I'm guessing.
not really. Oh, I mean, yeah, they sound different. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sound different. Yeah, you could definitely tell. The baby has like a deeper voice and stuff. But
That sounds very strange.
yeah, yeah, the deep voiced baby. Um, but yeah, gone are the days where there's a lot of um, interesting names.
Yeah.
And why is and usually and rock and rap are the only ones that do the aliases, right?
I mean, I guess in other genres they have band names if it's a group,
Right.
you know.
It's like
But
rock
if they're
groups.
solo artists, but if it's like a folk group or a country group or.
Okay.
I mean, I guess country they kind of just do the names for the most part,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it takes, um, it's bands or if you have a bunch of people, it's the collection of all of them together that makes
Yeah.
the sound that they are.
True. I'm waiting for an artist to be called just like music, like
I mean,
song
shit,
maker,
Music Soul Child.
music soul child, but like someone to just be like named as like some generic name like Apple Music
I mean, there's probably somebody out there who's already
or
gotten
someone
there.
named like a song person Just some super generic name.
I mean, there's the most wild names you've ever heard. There's, the most boring. But
Yeah.
I've heard some wild ones, especially metal. I don't know if you've heard metal band names. But
Iron Maiden.
yeah, but
Is that
that's
metal?
totally that. Yeah, I don't know if that's. I'm probably. I don't know. People live and die by this shit, but I don't know if it's metal or not. I think it's like hair metal, maybe. Damn, people are probably gonna be offended.
Hair metal?
Yeah, hair metal is like, you see the old '80s concert videos, and they have the flying V guitars, and they're standing up against an amplifier that's taller than them, and then
I
they're
thought that was like Kiss.
um yeah, I guess it's Kiss too. Hair metal was like once it got to be, kind of like 10 years old maybe. Kiss was like the first people coming out crazy like that. And then it just aged over time. That's why Spinal Tap, the movie, like why they did that movie. Because Spinal Tap is like a total. You never heard of Spinal Tap?
No.
It's just like they're just playing off of what rock had become in the, I don't know, in the '80s, I think at some point. But it just had become crazy hair and, painted faces and wild shit and 15-minute guitar solos and, you know, stages or backdrops that look like they're for a Hamlet play. Like it got crazy out of hand. That's, to me, that's hair metal. But if you ask, any kind of somebody who's about metal, there are like different species, so many different offshoots of metal, and the type of names that you hear. Like I remember hearing this guy was telling me about a band that he listened to that its name was Skull Raper. And he liked the band. And it was one of his favorites. But it was like that's the scarier and meaner and louder the better. You know, the more growly voice, the better. But I'm not into that.
You know what? I got to get into rock music because
Don't start there.
I know, but I just don't know enough about it. Like, there's like one-off songs that I know
Yeah.
of, but I've never downloaded a rock album.
I mean,
The closest I've ever got was to my brother had the Linkin Park Jay-Z, was it Collision Course or something like that?
yeah,
That was like the closest I've ever got to owning a rock album.
I think
But I
rock
want
and
to,
rap are super similar.
yeah.
Because it's like the rebellious outlaw kind of, where it started that way, like that was the feel of it, and rock had that feel, but it's just one was more for white people and one was black people, or minorities, like,
Mm-hmm.
and rock had, like, you think about the rock 50s 60s 70s 80s, whatever, like, yeah, there's Jimi Hendrix, but for the most part it's just like a humongous, it's like a giant white sport. It's like hockey, you know. But
Yeah.
but it's that same like rebellious, fuck you, whatever type vibe that rap is. Just as rap's from a different demographic, So like they're
Right.
similar, but they sound different.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just don't know enough about it. I wanna tap in and dive into.
No, you don't.
You don't think so?
No, you don't.
You don't think I should?
I don't think
Or
that you want to. I don't think you
oh,
really
you don't
want
think
to.
I want to? You
No, I
don't
don't
think that
think
I
so.
like music? You don't think that I like music enough to be like, all right, let me like kind of explore this genre of music?
I do, but I don't feel like rock is on that list.
Well, what is on the list then? If I've already sort of like if I've already tapped into um like hip hop, R&B,
Yeah.
Spanish vibes. What's next? Do you think? Like, what would
I
be
mean,
my next?
soul, funk, jazz.
I
You know,
mean,
like
funk.
I would
Funk,
that would not surprise me, but rock Drew
jazz.
would surprise me.
You see me listening to jazz.
I see you listening to jazz more than I do you listening to rock.
Okay. Maybe I'll go jazz with it.
So I mean,
Maybe I'll hit
like
a cigar bar and just.
a a ton of your favorite rappers are probably big jazz fans.
I doubt it.
I think the more intelligent ones probably are.
Uh, like who? Like I don't know. I don't think so.
You don't think? I mean, okay, I'll say maybe not into jazz, but like can
I
listen
think
to
they
and
respect
appreciate
it.
and
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
and
yeah.
would
I think,
listen to it voluntarily,
but that's
like
but that's me now.
to jazz.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think it's appealing sonically, but I haven't dove in to like purchase an album or
Yeah,
purchase like some songs of it.
yeah, and I think a lot of the a lot of my favorite musicians are into jazz. Like I haven't gotten into it, like because it's a lot. It's seems really hard to. I've tried. I took a history of jazz class one time, and that was interesting. But man, sometimes it's really hard to get into. Like
Man,
I
fuck
don't know if you.
jazz. And everybody who's down with it. No, it's like no, I it could be like I said, it could be something interesting. It could be something
Yeah,
interesting, and I
I just
respect it because it's a tough. It's definitely you you gotta be a real musician to um to perform jazz music.
you do,
Like
or
I
you have to be
understand
a
that.
child. If you've
A
ever heard
who?
jazz before, a child. Sometimes jazz sounds like you have five children and you all tell them to play a
Hold
different
on,
song.
hold on. I just got a package. Hi, your package with tracking number 942658 is waiting for you to check it in the shipment address. Click this parcels123.com/xzqrx912.
Mm.
Yeah,
You better go
spam
get that
message.
package.
Yeah, spam message. Speaking of jazz, are you getting ready to get called up to the NBA?
I
I'm
realized
training.
today that I probably shouldn't. We went to Dave and Buster's today for like a work thing, and we have a new guy, and we had been talking about if they have a basketball thing there, then we're gonna go at it because he played, and so he got me.
What do you mean at Dave and Buster's? It's like
Yeah, they have like
just shooting.
yeah, I know. He got
Oh,
me in the
okay. So
shooting thing.
he made more goals on the little spinning like thing.
Yeah, I mean it
Okay.
wasn't spinning, but he did make more
Yeah.
goals.
Okay.
So I don't know. I might maybe it's time for me to maybe I lost it.
I mean, I think we're pretty close on the list of 10-day contracts right now at this point.
Yeah, I
They
haven't
got
even.
Mario Chalmers.
Yeah,
Like
well, the Lakers have
people.
tried out. They had Darren Collison. I mean, God, Isaiah Thomas,
Yeah,
Paul
Isaiah
Pierce,
Darren.
or no, what's his name?
He said Paul
Joe.
Pierce.
Who's the dude for the
Joe.
Celtics?
The Lakers signed Paul Pierce. Holy.
No. The Joe
Joe
Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on what? Who did he get
Celtics.
to the
That's what I'm saying.
Celtics? Yeah. Yeah, Joe Johnson. Shoot, there's been so many like memes about these people. Like, oh, like who is this?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. There's some people on the Clippers. I'm like, who's this on the Clippers? Who's just checked in?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild. A lot of opportunities for people though. You know, think of it that way. Like
Yeah,
guys who
no,
never
for
would have a
sure.
chance, and they get a chance to. I mean, sometimes play on the national television.
Exactly. And then the guys that are there for the long haul are like, man, man, I can't wait till these 10 days is up.
Get these bums out of here.
Yeah. Do you think there's like, it's like that type of kind of environment where it's like, dude, we know you're not staying. We both know. Everyone in this arena knows.
Yeah,
And do you think it's kind of like a weird vibe?
I don't
Because,
know.
when they usually do a 10-day, it's typically towards the end of the season,
Yeah,
like, and then depending on where they're at, there's like, they'll do 2 10 days, then sign them for the rest of the season, and then like into the playoffs, right? Like, so like kind of like last year, Clippers did with DeMarcus Cousins. It always happens. It's like we need
right.
this
Who
person.
he's
We've
back
had a
too,
couple
isn't
of
he?
injuries. He's yeah. I think the Lakers are going to sign him.
Wasn't he just on a different team?
Yeah, they the Bucks. He was on Milwaukee Bucks, but they
God damn,
released him.
that
But I
shit's
think the
crazy.
Lakers are going to sign him and get rid of DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, he's. I don't know what's going on with this season right
I
now.
mean, what the hell is up with? Why didn't DeAndre? What happened with DeAndre Jordan?
I don't know.
Like he just faded into obscurity,
I mean,
and
shit.
he
When
was
all
the
you can do is
start.
dunk, all
I'm
like,
saying he was the starting center day one, and then just all of a sudden he's cut not even halfway through the season. It's
yeah.
crazy.
Well, they sign guys on what they have done, not what they would do or what they can still do.
What?
I mean, him, Russell Westbrook, Trevor Ariza, like
Oh my god.
all these dudes that they sign. Like, man, look at his career numbers. Like, okay, it's a lot of mileage though, and league's getting younger, and these guys are pretty old. It's got to be by far in the NBA like the oldest team. Like it's
Yeah,
almost
I
a
think so.
novelty how old the Lakers are. Collectively. I don't know how old they are, but I mean, at the start of the season, they must have had I don't know 8 guys over 30 at least.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
and that's a lot.
The yeah. So I was thinking about this the other day, and I wonder if talking about my team, the Clippers. I wonder if Kawhi comes back this season.
What do you feel different than you would have at the start of the season about it?
Well, they're starting to say, like, in the beginning they were like he could come back for the playoffs. Then recently they kind of reported that he's ramped up his workouts. So I'm just wondering if you were to say you were to try and bring back a guy like a Kawhi, who, and then Paul George is out for like 2 months since Christmas. And so, say you get Paul George back, you still hover around this 500 where you're like, you're on the lower end of the playoffs. But you bring back Kawhi, would you bring him back or would you not? Would you like say because you could have a potential fully healthy team, at the very end of the season? Would
Yeah.
you do you think it's worth it or is it not worth it?
I
Like
mean,
I'm
it
trying to.
might be the right time to, if he's going to be healthy, if you're going to be fully healthy, and you know, there's a lot of people that are just dropping off of rosters because of COVID. Then who knows what happens? Who knows if that's an opportunity to win a series or something? Like you're playing whoever you're playing the Lakers and LeBron gets COVID and whatever. Like or the whole team gets COVID or some shit, like that's totally a factor. So if you're healthy, and the possibility is there for the Clippers to get that too, same as everybody else. But if you are fully healthy and then you encounter that, then you just have that much better of a chance of seizing that opportunity, you know? Like it might all line up in that way, you know. And
Well,
but
because they actually have some guys who they can. Another thing is they have these young guys who they can develop. So they got Brandon Boston Jr., who's, man, he's shown some phenomenal um, flashes of being a just flat out scorer in his rookie year, and like he's won them a couple of games, you know. So would you kind of like just be like whatever, and then just kind of maybe you go into a playoff series with those guys, the young guys, Terrence Mann, Brandon Boston Jr., those type of guys, kind of like, hey, let's see
yeah,
what we could do, and then next year you're like, now you got these guys who are like, we've been there, done that, we're in this now,
yeah,
and now you bring back 2 All NBA guys.
that's true. That's a good move too. I mean, especially if you have that depth and you can do that and still be competitive, then why not? You know, because the Lakers definitely cannot do that. You know, like they've put
Mm-hmm.
themselves in a position now of where it's win now. You know, so
Right. They have that. What they have, Taylor Horton Tucker. It's like kind
who
of
has
that
not
piece.
been what what he was. So like,
Yeah.
not to say that he won't become better or get better or whatever, but he's not what they were hoping that he would be up until this point. So, and there are guys that are, like I can't remember the name of the dude, the white dude who he's a rookie. Can't
Yeah.
remember. Shooter. I mean,
Yeah.
tough kid.
Yeah.
And they like him. And God, they had that other kid, Pat McClung, I think is his name.
Mac.
Mac McClung.
Yeah, they got rid of him.
But I mean, he was showing flashes in G League or whatever. But so I think they have a decent farm system. So, maybe they're kind of looking at that of they rely or they feel confident about being able to kind of take chances and be competitive now, and then but still have some assets coming up. But that's the difference between the Lakers and the Clippers is that the Clippers will hold on to theirs and develop theirs if they can, and then the Lakers move them, and for big names. It's almost I almost cringe at when I think of all the names that the Lakers have given away. Like not given away, but and who knows if you could pay all these guys, but Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, headband, Chicago headband.
Chicago headband. What the? Wow. Are you talking about Caruso?
Yeah, yeah,
He said
Caruso.
Chicago headband.
You knew what I'm talking
Holy
about.
what a name. What an impression he left on you.
It's been a while, man.
Holy.
But all of these guys. I mean, Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson was like 6th man of the year. I know you can't keep all of these guys forever, but they did draft all these guys within, I mean, maybe 2 or 3 years.
I mean, they got LeBron. They got LeBron and AD, so it's like, yeah,
But,
and Russell Westbrook, but
God
the
damn,
Lakers,
AD is
that's the
so soft, man.
well now, yeah, now that
He
now
always
everyone's
was.
yeah, but he won a championship as their go-to guy. My thing is, you're always going to be able to do that as the Lakers, though. You're never going to be the draft. Well, I mean, you are, but like you're like they've always got their people in trades. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaq, Kobe, LeBron.
They traded for Kobe on draft day.
Still a trade.
Yeah, it's still a trade, but
Still a trade. You're always.
but it wasn't. It was before he
It's
developed.
a trade through the draft. Yeah, I get you. Lamar Odom, Pau Gasol, like all these people like have been through via trade and not via draft.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like they're always going to have that because of their name.
Right.
So,
Which
you
isn't, I
know,
mean, it's
if
not bad. And I don't feel like this team is totally, is bad or like I don't think that. It's just, the margin for error is so small and it takes time to fit together. I mean, look at the Warriors. Like the Warriors, they keep that same core. They get guys who they feel like will fit the culture and all that stuff, and then they go knowing that they're gonna play Warriors basketball. Like they're gonna play around Steph and Clay. With Clay, but you don't. That doesn't happen with the Lakers. Like, if
well, that's
somebody's
a team that was drafted. They all drafted all those guys: Draymond, Clay,
yeah,
and Steph, even Wiseman, and the only guy that's playing really well for them, that you know, Andrew Wiggins
yeah,
was a
Wiggins, but
trade.
they had Iguodala. Like they had
Iguodala, true.
guys who were a
But their
part of it.
main
They had
core,
Bogut. They had
yeah, but their main core is those three All Stars.
right, and so they keep those three, and they get guys that are going to complement them and fit.
Yeah,
And the Lakers get guys with big names, like bigger,
yeah.
like you get a Westbrook or DeAndre Jordan or what, like, and and yeah, they're big names and they've done a lot in the league, but
They're
how well
also
do
like
they
30
fit?
plus.
They're 30 plus, they're
Well,
expensive,
actually, AD isn't. I don't think.
which is crazy, but
I know. He's really getting that bad rap right now.
I mean, but he's also been eclipsed by you see guys like Giannis or Jokic, like guys who are like, you know, who are more unstoppable than he is.
Yeah,
And at the same height, same price point, like I think the value is right. Like he should not be. I don't know if Jokic gets paid more than him, but I don't think he should be valued as high as Jokic or Giannis. And injury wise, like Giannis is solid. Like his game is more solid, I think. But like AD is always, he's always gonna come down on somebody's shoe or something. Like it just happens with them. And I don't know Jokic's history that well, but I feel like he's another guy who's like solid, and he's gonna be out there. He's gonna be playing.
he also doesn't play above the rim, or he never jumps. He's not really. He's not really. His game isn't really predicated on athleticism.
No, it's not.
So
But
you got that as well.
yeah, but I mean, and of course, I'm probably looking at it in more of a negative light because of the way that it's gone. But I don't think it's too far off. You know.
Do you do you see yourself being a Lakers optimistic or a Lakers doubter as a fan?
Um, I think optimistic because I want them to win, and I want them to do it in a way that's sustainable, and you gotta like not that you have to earn it, but like making the right choices and developing guys, and keeping guys around that work with the culture and stuff like that. Like Lakers have always been the Showtime thing, and I understand that, but it's like at some point you feel like um, maybe the Lakers might grow out of that. Or I don't know. I don't even know if it's the Lakers the organization or if it's like a majority of Laker fans. Like I remember when the Lakers got AD, or even before that, when it was that core of like Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram and Randall and Larry Nance, Jordan Clarkson. Like at the time, like yeah, they were losing. They weren't. a playoff contender, like a real contender and stuff. But I think that there was a crowd, there was a section of Laker Nation, that was okay with that. And it was like, don't hit the panic button. It's fine. Like we can sustain, we can let these guys develop and see what it turns out to be. But, at the same time, then they go out and then they get a LeBron. It's like, okay. And, you're excited about it, but still, you know, where would you be had you just stayed the course now? You know?
I was watching the like a clip recently of that show on HBO, LeBron's show, the Shop.
Haircut show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was it was the one where they had obviously LeBron, but they had what's his name, Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
Other Ball.
Wait, Lonzo
The other-
or what shit?
LaMelo.
Other Ball.
Other Ball. Lonzo Ball.
Oh, I thought the other brother was Other Ball.
No, LaMelo is
LiAngelo, that's what it is.
Oh, LiAngelo is. I don't want to. Lonzo Ball was on there, and they were talking. It was around the time that Magic Johnson quit,
Mm-hmm.
and they were talking about it, and he was like, LeBron was saying that he's found out because someone called him and was like, hey, you hear about Magic? And like he's like, he quit or whatever. He's like, you're lying. He's like, turn on TV or check your phone or whatever. And then Lonzo was in the I think they were stretching in the trainer's room or whatever, and he was there also, and he looked up and he's like, wow, that's crazy. Kuz, what are we doing tonight? But that kind of shows you like where they were. They were still young, still kind of like, we're in the league, like, like we're talented and we could put up some numbers, but we're not like, it's not that big a deal type of thing.
Sometimes
like, it's a big deal, but it's not like we're like really trying to show out and win championships.
Yeah.
And buckle down and do everything it takes. And so they were a couple years away from that. And LeBron, you could tell like that season he wasn't with that. He did it for one season, and then he was just like, nah, we need something now. And so that's when it went to AD, and to his credit, it worked out. They won a championship.
Yeah.
But then now it's like the formula of, okay, so surround LeBron around these vet minimum dudes and some shooters and some name guys who he maybe has like a relationship, or Clutch has a relationship, or whatever the case is. It's starting to catch up with him, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to catch up with the organization.
Yeah.
Like how much longer can you limp along this way? Like if you're, I don't know how long Davis is under contract or how long you're going to pay Davis for, but like how long is Anthony Davis going to be your guy? Like the guy. How long is LeBron going to play? I mean, what are you going to do next year? Like after all, are you going to get all these guys back, or are you going to start fresh next year? And then there's no continuity from year to year. Like you don't build off of what you did last year because it's a brand new team.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a brand new team because AD or Westbrook, if they don't, I mean, it's early to tell, but if they don't make it far, they're not back. Like, or one of them's not back.
You said AD?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be, man, it would, for them to let him walk after.
No, they wouldn't let him walk. They get something in return.
Yeah.
But
then you're building around LeBron at that point?
No, you're building, maybe you maybe get a younger, more durable person.
But you're not going to trade LeBron. He's gonna go
No,
sign and play with Bronny wherever he's at.
no, you're not. I'm not talking about LeBron. So you're saying keep AD? Because a lot of from what I've seen is like all the like the trade speculation would be one Russell Westbrook, two Anthony Davis.
Well, I'm just because AD is the one who has years left.
Yeah, but AD
Especially,
is the one who's hurt every year.
yeah.
They call him street clothes on Inside the NBA.
God damn.
Like he's always injured.
Yeah. So I mean, but his value is going to be super low now. Like
It's
that's why,
crazy.
like, yeah, you reached up and you grabbed one in 2020 in the bubble, which is I don't think there's an asterisk by that, or any people will say that. It's just as hard to win an NBA championship, regardless. Maybe even more difficult when you're under that kind of stress in a crazy situation like that. So, like, great, you won that one. But hypothetically speak, if you kept those guys that you had, if you were able to pay all of those guys, like Ingram, Randall, Lonzo Ball, Caruso, Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance, and I feel like maybe I'm forgetting a guard. But if you have that core now, and that had been together for like 5-6 years maybe now at this point, then what are you
Yeah.
looking at? And how much more time do you have with that group?
Yeah. No, for sure they definitely didn't see it through because they had what? They had one, two. They had two All-Stars for sure in Ingram and Julius Randle.
Kuzma's another guy.
Yeah. So Ingram and Julius Randle, All-Stars.
Right.
They're legit All-Stars.
Right.
Then you have two guys who may make one All-Star, may just be a really good player on a good team
Talking about
in
Lonzo.
Lonzo Ball and Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah.
And I mean, people, Kuzma, like he doesn't show up sometimes. He didn't
Yeah.
become the guy. But he's not. I don't think he's that third scoring guy. Like I think he's like maybe an off the bench guy. He's a fifth option type of guy. Like in that
But you
role,
imagine
he can
too,
thrive.
they would have had a couple more draft picks too, and probably higher picks.
True.
And they fit better, like Ingram is a scorer, is a elite level scorer.
Right. So you got that. You got those four guys right there who are like legit. Then you add a superstar to that. Then it's a different story because you got a continuity like, or even two stars. You can even add 2 stars maybe.
I don't know if you would have the money to add 2 stars to that.
Well, maybe
because
you
to
max
keep guys like Ingram and Randall, that would cost money. They cost a lot of money.
That's true, but I don't know if they're max guys.
Probably not max.
So like you get one other star guy. I mean one other all-star.
And
I think you're straight.
A draft pick didn't turn into that.
Yeah, I just feel like the Lakers always have to have that superstar, but I think if you had that team where it's like, man, you got so many angles like with like 3-4 all-stars.
Yeah.
And they're all young and they all kind of like around the same age. That's a scary team that's competing every year.
Yeah. And I think the thing that I grew up watching Laker games with my dad. And my dad, how my dad is. My dad is old school. My dad doesn't like when LeBron plays off. I don't like that. Like, I don't like when it seems like Anthony Davis is being soft. That's because I grew up that way. Like I've been sitting there watching games with my dad forever. So when I look at the Lakers, like I look at that stuff. I don't like that part of it. I don't like a lot of the shit that LeBron does and says. Like I don't like a lot of that. And when you look at some of those other guys from that old core, like Randall and Ingram, Caruso, Ball, there's a lot of grit there. Like a lot of tough, gritty guys. Like I don't know to be those guys be your guys going into battle into the playoffs or whatever instead of, like what can kind of be a little soft and whiny. I might prefer that to what it is now.
Yeah. I mean, you just look up and you see Julius Randle basically taking over the New York Knicks, getting them to the playoffs, and then you look at Brandon Ingram, he's a legit. He's going to get you 25 a night. You
Yeah.
can count on it pretty much. So it's tough to
And
see.
Ball is a
Like,
distributor, like,
yeah, Lonzo
you
Ball's
know,
he's gonna play.
defensive,
He plays a lot like a Jason Kidd type of guy,
yeah.
like where he's like up and down the court, and he kind of does everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
So just
to
the
see
fit. The fit,
Yeah.
And then even if you would just name Anthony Davis, LeBron, and Westbrook, like the fit is hard to. It's a lot more difficult to visualize that being a fit more than that other four.
Well, it is what it is.
It is what it is now.
They're in this limbo. Yeah. And maybe everyone gets healthy and they work it out and everything, and they get to a point where they're contending. But it just looks like last year where it's like, all right, we're scrambling to stay around 500, and then let's get in the bubble. They're a little bit ahead, but it seems that type of vibe where it's like, all right, we're going to get this together within the last 5-10 games, and then like let's go into the playoffs and we'll see what happens. And that's not how. And that's to my original question with the Clippers is like, do you want to chance that? Do you want to do that little number where you're like, all right, we got a superstar, we got two superstars, and let's try and like make it work real quick before the playoffs.
Yeah. And how confident do you feel about beating whoever comes out of the East?
Well, you got Milwaukee and you got Chicago. So it's like, I mean, yeah, I
think Milwaukee.
Everyone's confident if they're,
Yeah, everyone's confident, but I think, if Milwaukee goes again and you're the Clippers and you're like just trying to piece it back together right, like real fast, and you're going to play the defending champs, like.
Well, but
that's what you got to go through.
You still got like
a ways to go before that.
Yeah, you got like 15 games or something like that before you get to that. Yeah. But yeah, it's an interesting thing because you got to be clicking on all cylinders going into the playoffs, like 10 games before.
Yeah. So yeah, leave them out. Leave them out. Save your team so that you can beat up on the Lakers for the next 10 years.
10 years. I don't know. Well, yeah, who knows? Because sometimes it looks different. It looks different, like, than what's going to actually end up happening. Like, because there's a lot of times where it's like, oh, this team's going to be good for a long period of time. And then something happens. Things happen. Things play out differently.
I don't think anybody's thinking that about the Clippers, just so you know.
What, 10 years?
Well, they're going to be good for a long time.
I mean, Kawhi and Paul George are like 30, 31.
Yeah.
So, of course not. The key is to, like, develop the young people and to keep it going.
Right.
But...
Well, that should line up then perfectly. Is that...
Yeah.
That's what you're... so like hopefully like in a few years they'll be worth going to see in person.
Yeah, all I care about is 2024, the Intuit Dome, Inglewood, California, and we got to win a championship that year. That will line up perfectly. We got to have one championship under our belt and going into our second championship in that arena.
Okay.
So that's all.
All right.
And then the last note is, at the end of the day, Lakers fans, I'm gonna just throw this blanket statement out to all Lakers fans. At the end of the day, I don't care I'm not competing against. I'm not worried about the Clippers in comparison to the Lakers. I'm worried about the Clippers winning their first championship.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care. Like, oh, we did this back in 1970 and 1980 and this and that. Like, I don't care about that. Like, go ahead, get your
Maybe one
accolades.
day you'll get to a level where
Celebrate
you
your
will.
old victories. That's cool. I'm cool with that. Like, I'm just looking forward, and not because
When
of
you
the
have
Lakers.
nothing to look backward to, then all you have is forward.
Yeah, exactly. And then Lakers fans are still gonna celebrate their old victories and
Yeah.
try and
Old
hate on the
2020.
Clippers, the Celtics, huh?
Old 2020. That was like what, 2 years ago
No,
at
no,
this point?
no. No, of course they won in the bubble for sure. That's dope. Good for them. Pandemic champs, all that. That's cool. But I'm saying we're basically just trying to win our first championship, whoever it is in front of us. Not
Yeah.
like because of the Lakers.
You're trying
Because
to
the
ride a
Lakers,
tricycle. The Lakers are trying to ride
newsflash,
a
Lakers
Ducati.
fans, the Lakers don't own the Staples Center or the cryptocurrency, whatever. What is it? Crypto.com arena.
Yeah.
The Lakers do not own that. Newsflash.
They share it with
Okay?
Taylor Swift.
No,
They sh-
I'm not. I'm saying the Kings group or whatever
Yeah.
entertainment, sports entertainment group that owns the Kings owns the Staples Center, or
Yeah.
I keep calling it Staples Center.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Who owns the most
So I'm not
memorable
hating.
moments
I'm
there,
educating Lakers fans and any other fan.
though? No. You're trying to correct, or you're trying to rid Laker fans of the just spewing hate and arrogance about having won championships in years before. And that's something that comes with being a Laker fan, and Laker fans are entitled to. So don't try to take that away from us.
No, I'm not. I'm saying if the Clippers, it's anything that happens to the Clippers, it becomes oh well, what about us versus you?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Which is, if you want to compare yourself, that's fine.
As of right now, like if we're losing, that's all we got.
Right, and I've definitely come to notice that and realize that but yeah, it's dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, we got Clipper Daryl on our side, so don't ever count us out.
All right. Well, this has been fun. This has been a good time.
Okay, why are you saying it like we're not doing the podcast anymore?
Well, damn, I want to play that song like at 8th grade graduation. You know, like one. Not the graduation song.
Oh, what song?
I guess it kind of is a graduation song. I don't know. But it's like the one, oh, it's Green Day. I hope you had the time of your life.
Oh, it's all the opposites of
There you
that
go.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, you actually are. You're into rock.
I'm super well cultured. Nah, I think it's time to tell them that we're fuck this podcast. Nah. Nah.
Not fuck it. But
So what's gonna happen? What are we doing? What's going on?
so we're gonna pause this one. We're gonna pause this podcast live from Ox City, and we're gonna break up.
You're breaking it up.
Yeah.
All right. So what? Yeah. So whoever's listened, whoever's followed the podcast, and we appreciate everyone. You understand the time difference because I moved to the East Coast, to Miami, and so just the timing getting the scheduling thing. We're both super busy people, and us not being in the same proximity, we're not gonna quit, but we are going to pause,
That's what I said.
and we're both gonna have spin-off podcasts. So I'm gonna do Curb Your Enthusiasm, and you're gonna do Kramer.
Comedians in car doing coffee. Yeah, basically.
You're gonna do Kramer stand up.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you want to? Are you gonna share what your thing is, or are you gonna?
No, we're not gonna
Wait to roll that
do
out.
that yet. This is we're not gonna overlap yet.
Okay.
But
Okay.
essentially, we're both gonna do 2 separate podcasts for the time being, and then we're gonna come back together like Voltron,
Right. Megatron.
unless Greg blows up and goes and he's out of here, and then
Yeah.
he's just not coming back.
Well, if you blow up and I don't, please, like, I'm begging you now, please take me back.
Take me back.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I mean, we were talking about it earlier, trying to figure it out what it's going to be. But, we were talking about it, and, like, we are so busy and, spread thin. Like, especially me, when I do so much stuff with music and about music. I spend so much time on music. So I do that. I do podcast stuff. I do my other stuff that I do in life. And so for me, I mean, it's a great way to be able to kind of merge the two and to do music and do a podcast and have it be kind of the same thing. I'm not totally sure what that's going to look like or sound like quite yet. But I have some ideas, and I will definitely make it known on my social media, which we share, like we update on the podcast. And so anybody who is listening and who wants to tune in on what I'm going to get into or what Drew's going to get into, I will definitely put it out there so that you can check it out. And would appreciate you to check it out. I appreciate everyone who's listened to the podcast and been a part of it. Everybody who's jumped on the show with us, so if you want to continue to do that and listen to us, then we'll make sure that you know how. But we are gonna.
Yeah, run it up. we tap into whatever we'll somehow get it out there to what to look out for. But me and Greg are gonna still remain friends.
Did we decide on that?
So don't think that we're doing this because we were at each other's necks
Because we broke
about
up.
the podcast. Because people talk.
Yeah.
We got a good amount of listeners, so they might say something like, "Oh, they're not cool anymore." I remember when Drew said that to Greg on episode 85
Yeah.
about that one thing, and I didn't like the way Greg responded, so I think that's why.
I still am the editor, so I'm gonna do my best to paint this in a way that it comes off as you're the villain, so everybody sides with me.
I'm the villain. That's cool.
Yeah. But now it'll make the Voltron, Megatron, Power Rangers, Dinozord
Jesus,
assembly.
I knew you were gonna get to the Power Ranger thing.
It'll make it that much better, like if there's a rumor around it,
Yeah, so we actually want to do. We have real aspirations to do the podcast, the Live from Mock City podcast, in studio, with video content on YouTube, because that's how we kind of envision it from the gate. But we started it height of the pandemic, and we kind of couldn't get it quite right in the same space, and as far as our schedule, so we kept pushing it off. But I think that's still the play. That's definitely still the play. But we're just gonna sort of where we're at right now. We're gonna try and build up our own separate spin-off podcast. Like I said, the Curb Your Enthusiasm, whatever Greg wants to do, his little
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah. And then whoever does better the other will come
Whoever does
crawling
better,
back
the
to
other
the other
one
one.
feels bad, and we rub it in their faces, and then we probably go on a hiatus in like Tibet or something, and then we put out the
Come
bat
back.
signal. The other one comes back, and then we have a story to talk about on the reboot of Live from Rock City. So
Right.
we're just gonna let you know that's how it's gonna work. So it's gonna take about a year or two because. But yeah, so this is our last for now episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So we have to say thank you to all these people.
yeah, I think so. I think you say thank you. You know, I definitely appreciate. You know, one thing that I enjoy about doing the podcast is like sometimes, you know, when I find out somebody has been listening to it that I haven't heard from in a long time, or I didn't know was listening to it, you know, and then I hear from them or whatever, and then that sparks a, you know, like then I get to talk to that person again, or I find out what's going on with them or whatever, you know, like that part of it has been really cool. And so I appreciate people who have listened and reached out and let me know that they do. And I appreciate you. And I mean, I hope you're back for the reboot whenever, like
The rebate.
2049 or whatever's Blade Runner 2049, whatever it's going to be.
Blade Runner. Yeah, nah. Greg appreciates you. It's it's been fun. Like I said, we're definitely gonna circle back and do it. The whole Omarion thing, like we're still, you know, seeing that through, and with the whole COVID and all that. So that plays actually a part, you know, as well. And we got some other side things that we're kind of focusing on right now too. So, like I said, we're gonna circle back and do it. The same podcast. We have, like I said, we have a lot more bigger plans for it. But we just want to pause. It's never, what is it? It's never goodbye. It's see you later.
It's not goodbye. It's see you later.
Yeah.
That's super sad though.
Is it?
Yeah, I can't
It's
remember what
sad?
movie
Not
that was,
sad.
but whatever movie it was on, it was super sad.
Yeah, I forgot.
I
what
think it's
movie
where
it's from.
somebody dies and then it's not see you later. Like it's bye for sure. I can't remember what it is. But
I forget. For some reason in my mind, I'm thinking about the Sandlot, where he's like, "Heroes get remembered, but legends never die."
it's definitely not that. Somebody's out there screaming right now because they know what it is. So.
Yeah.
But that's the perfect way to send off. And I thought for the see you later, then I could send it off. Are you good? You got anything else?
Nah, just tap it. Whatever I want to say, I'll get it on my next podcast.
Okay, on the one that's not as good as mine.
Right. Okay.
Okay, we'll see you later.